Cool, cool. So my name's Josh, as you already know. I'm a course careers instructor and a YouTuber, and we have Charles here, who is a recent graduate of the CourseCareers IT program, and he actually got a job recently. So thank you so much for joining us today in the interview.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, really appreciate it. Before we get started, do you have any socials that you want to share, like a LinkedIn or YouTube or anything like that?
Yeah, I have my LinkedIn, and I'm actually starting my YouTube channel pretty soon.
Oh, nice, nice,
And
cool.
yeah,
So, how did you actually hear about the Course Careers course? Like, where did you first see it?
so I heard about Course Careers back when they were just doing the tech sales. I've heard about that from a couple people. Funny enough, I was actually following you before I even knew you were doing the
Oh,
program.
oh, thank you, thank you.
And yeah, so and then when it was announced that it was the IT program and that it was you, I was like, oh well, that actually seems like a good fit. I'd be, definitely something I wanted to
Oh,
check
shoot.
out. And it was all good timing because I was trying to get into another IT boot camp and I was waiting on that one, so I had some time in between. And
Mhm.
also, I really wanted to get a new job for the new year, so it was all good timing.
Nice. And then before you actually started, like, what was your previous job?
Yeah, so I was in public safety for like the past like 7 years,
Oh, nice.
and so nothing really directly relevant to tech, but
Yeah.
I just knew I was always interested, and I've been doing some like research and some studying prior. But yeah, like this program definitely helped me make that plunge.
So, how long did it take you, like, once you started the course to completion, about how long would you say that took you to finish?
Well, it's funny because so when I first started it, I bought it right before I went on vacation. Majority of those 2 weeks going through it, redoing the labs over and over,
Oh, nice.
and updating, like setting up the portfolio, updating like my resume and all that stuff. So I was basically done with the program within those like 2 weeks,
Mm. Oh,
basically.
man.
But
Damn.
like yeah, I felt like I don't know, I just felt so prepared after that I just went in and just started applying this stuff. And then so even before I even got the certificate, I was like, no, I know, I I gotta I got a grip on things, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started on it. Yeah, even before the certificate, I was feeling good about getting a job. So I started at like late October, early November,
Mhm.
and so I had like 2 weeks, and then I started applying. So basically, within like 6 weeks, I got a job after getting the program. Or it took like I guess like a month,
Oh,
right?
gotcha. Damn.
Yeah, because I got a job offer mid-December.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah,
That's pretty quick.
yeah.
Cool. And then do you remember, like, about how many did you use, like, first of all, did you use the application tracking thing to kind of keep track of who you're applying to, and like how many would you say that you applied to, do you think?
Yeah, so I used it for. I mean, I did a whole bunch of websites. So
Mm.
the bigger ones were able to like you could track themselves, but as far as like all those other smaller websites, I wasn't gonna keep going back and forth, and that's what the tracker was for. Like
Yeah.
was like I used the tracker specifically for the ones like that really stuck out that I knew would be a good fit or when I really wanted, and the
Mm.
ones that weren't on the big websites. As far as like how many applications, I think it's like almost like 250.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Like yeah, like I went for it. Like as soon as I had everything together, I was just like, yeah. And also I had a willingness to move, and I
Mm.
wasn't worried. Like I didn't mind starting from like the bottom, but actually worked out.
Did you notice, like, you applied to a bunch and then suddenly, like, a bunch of people want to interview with you, or kind of how did that go?
Uh, yeah, it's crazy because it's funny because like thanks to your template and the like the it actually got to be a lot of results. It's still giving me results. I'm still getting callbacks from it. Funny enough, but
That's funny.
yeah,
That kind of sucks sometimes because, like, if you get like a really good offer after you already started working, it kind of feels bad.
right, yeah, definitely. But I'm good. I'm good where I'm at, and yeah, I'm glad it's kind of
That's
gotten
good.
this way.
I'm glad to hear that. Do you remember, like, how many interviews you had with like different companies, or you just kind of get the first one and you're good with that one, or how did that go?
Um, so I ended up doing about 8 interviews, just about.
Dang. You did 8. That's a lot of
Yeah,
energy.
yeah. Actually, it's funny. A couple of them I had to travel too.
Oh,
So
seriously.
yeah, so I get off work, hit the road, and
That's
then
that's kind of
you know
exciting. And then are you allowed to say, you don't have to say like the name, I guess, but what kind of company did you end up accepting position with?
I got recruited through a staffing agency, and the staffing agency works with Home Depot.
Okay. Oh,
So
nice.
so I'm part of their IT team now.
Gotcha, gotcha. That's kind of cool. Again, you don't have to answer this, but did you negotiate your salary at all, and like how much did you end up getting for the position you accepted?
Yeah, actually, what they offered was pretty much the range that it's pretty much what I was looking for, like pretty close.
Mhm.
Um, Especially, well, it's funny because compared to the more local jobs around, there were bigger companies that were, interviewing for, but they were offering like much less pay, and
Damn, really?
I really couldn't do that. So this came around at the right time. Not to mention, this one was even though it's a contract job, but they're also offering benefits and it's remote. So
Oh, that's
that like
pretty. Oh, damn, you got a remote one.
yeah,
Nice.
so it was pretty good. And so yeah, I'm starting off 19 an hour, and then the plan is within the next few months be part of Home Depot full time and get a bump up.
That's so good, actually. It's kind of, I feel it's harder ish for your first job to be remote, but you got
Yeah,
a remote one. This is like so good, actually.
yeah, yeah. I
Nice.
was I was really surprised, and it's kind of crazy that so many other places were offering lower and they wanted me on site, and I was like, wow, that's
Yeah, nah, dog. I'm good.
yeah, yeah.
That's funny. Did you start working already, or are you kind of still in that onboarding ish phase?
Actually, I started last week. Yeah, I started last week.
Cool, cool. Was there any like particular part of the course that you found particularly helpful in your situation, whether it's not like the interviewing section or like the applying to jobs, or like any particular part that you might recommend future people to pay attention to?
Um, yeah, I mean, like all the labs ended up being relevant. Uh, so as far as like understanding uh, the usual commands you would use and how you would approach troubleshooting, also, the stuff with the Active Directory and the ticketing system. Yeah, like it all actually was relevant and was,
That's good.
helped me with my interviews.
That's good to hear. Oh yeah, I meant to ask about the interview. Did they? How was that process? Did they throw anything at you that's like super out of left field, or was it pretty smooth, or how did you feel about it?
A majority of the interviews I felt good. Most of them weren't too technical. Like a lot of them were just really making sure that I had the right mindset, I guess, when it came to dealing with people.
Gotcha.
Like I felt pretty good about, most of the interviews. So
That's good. Good to hear. And then this isn't necessarily for course careers, but just anyone who, maybe they're working in a different industry and they're trying to get into IT. Do you have any kind of advice for them coming from someone who's doing something completely different, and you just managed to move into IT in like a month and a half? Any kind of advice for someone who might want to follow in your footsteps?
I'd say just yeah, just focus, be persistent. Um Actually, I have so what there was one thing I noticed while I was interviewing. So
Hmm.
I was interviewing with a few like small businesses and some like doctor's offices and stuff like that. So one tip I would give for people if they want to expand a portfolio, I would actually have them look into virtualizing servers or upgrading servers
Mm.
because there's a lot of businesses that are still using Windows 2012, and Microsoft is gonna stop supporting that in October, I think.
Mm.
So one thing I would like look into is like if you are trying to be like a field technician or a technology specialist or something like that, something in a smaller business, I would put that on a portfolio so you can go in there and say, "Hey, I can upgrade your servers, I can put you in the cloud." That would be a really good selling point, I think,
Oh,
especially if you're in the more rural areas.
yeah, that's a great advice, actually. Maybe I'll make some labs about that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Just like migrating server 2012 into like whatever the newer one is, kind of thing.
Right, yeah.
Cool. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, I do want to say super good job on what you did. It's not really easy to, I mean, regardless of a course or anything, to change your career in a month and a half or, 2 months is really crazy. So I just want to say good job with that. You probably put in a lot of work. So that's really, really cool.
And I appreciate that. I feel like I should thank you. You definitely gave me that that motivation and the information, and you definitely influenced me on trying to make a change for myself, and I was like, I have to get something new by the year, and I pulled it off. So
Yeah,
I
amazingly well.
appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no problem. Thank you, by the way, for the recognition and stuff. But yeah, that's very impressive. I hope this inspires a lot of people, because you can definitely. It was probably like a lot of work, but you did it in the end, and I feel like it's possible to change your career like relatively quickly, and yeah, that's very cool. Do you have any plans for the future, like getting into like security or more like system engineering, or any thoughts on that?
Um, yeah, I see a lot of options. I would love to just build up more on the skills I have, more on the experience I have. Get a few system admin jobs. Stack a couple of them up. That'd be cool.
For
Um,
sure.
I'm looking a little bit into cybersecurity. Admittedly, I need to get familiarize myself more with networking. That's definitely
Mm.
something I'm trying to still steady up on. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I feel like I'm in a good place with the company I'm at, so I could definitely see room for growth there. So
Yeah, for sure. It's really nice, because when you're working somewhere, you can kind of look at the different technology that's around you, like server 2019 or mobile device management or whatever, and then a lot of the time you can just kind of pick one of those and get really good at it, and then get another job that pays way more if you wanted to, kind of focusing on that technology. So it's
right,
it's really good to start working, because you can kind of get exposure to a bunch of different stuff. So yeah.
yeah, that'd be cool.
Cool, cool. Yeah, I guess that wraps it up. Do you have any final words for anyone watching? Anything like this?
Uh, no, not really. Um, yeah, I guess if somebody needed some more advice, they could reach out to me on LinkedIn, and yeah,
Cool, cool. Yeah, I'll be sure to post that. And yeah, seriously, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to interview for everybody. So thanks again.